Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Alright, let's get into it. So the last time that I did a video, I believe it was on August 15th. And that was I think it was let's see, what was it? It was a live market execution on a sell. And since then, I honestly have not taken many trades. So 15th was the last time that I traded last week, which was a Friday. And then I didn't trade the 18th, 19th, and the 20th, and I ended up trading that Thursday just because of the news event that was given that day. So if you go back to this week and look, so Monday, again, it was very low impact news driver, so I didn't really want to trade that. I don't consider Trump to be honestly like the news delivery with Trump speaking. I just don't consider it to be consistent. And usually those pop up just before it's announced. So like if it was like announced at 8 o'clock, this probably would have came out like around 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? That Trump was going to be speaking at 8 o'clock. So it's like a surprise event, as you would say, on the day of. And plus this day was FOMC as well too, and it was a low impact news driver. So anything with no news events or low impact, like yellow folders, I typically try to avoid those days. So I just take those days off. And just seeing that alone here, on Monday was a day off, Tuesday was a day off, Wednesday I could have traded this, but the high impact news drivers were sort of more after the New York AM session, and I mainly trade only the AM session. So I decided just to set that out as well too. And I did trade August 21st on Thursday, and on Friday I was looking for setups, but nothing. I was looking for sells, nothing came up, so I ended up not trading that day. So just one trading day for the week, and we're gonna review that. I'm gonna show you guys how basically I ended up losing and I ended up recovering that loss. Okay, so I made a little bit of profit on the day, nothing crazy. I think it was a little bit less than 1%. It was like $340 or something like that, across 2 accounts. So it's about almost $1,000. So not too bad for the day. All right. I'm gonna pull up Trade 08 as well too, so that way what we'll do is we can just review some of the notes in my journal that I took for that day, and then show like the live execution, the performance for that day through Trade 08, and we can also go through TradingView as well too, just to mark that day up again and see if there's things that we missed, or maybe looked at price from a different perspective, you know what I mean, since we can go back at it and just do a more of a thorough breakdown of delivery by taking our time. So let's get logged here into Trade 08. So the first trade that I ended up taking on Thursday was a loss. And let's see if we can go to last week. It should just be that one account. Oh, sorry, no. It's this week. There we go. Perfect. So this usually happens to me. So sometimes I'll like try to, place a stop loss order, and I'll accidentally put, like, for example, if I was putting if I was selling, I would want to put a buy stop above my sell entry, and I mistakenly I added on more to the trade, so I was selling more above the level that I was supposed to get stopped out at. So that's a user error, but I caught that right away, and I took like about a $20 for a loss, which is, you know, no big deal. It is what it is. It was still less than by $5 for a 0.5% for risk per trade on that account. So I've been pretty pleased with my performance overall on just controlling risk. I've been very patient, very consistent with that as well too. And you know, if I get stopped out, this is just a day. You know, I felt a little confident, and I didn't mind getting back in there and taking a loss if I was gonna, you know, take a loss. But we'll go ahead and review it, and we'll see what exactly I did wrong and why I ended up taking that loss. So let's see if we can go back actually here on, and let's see what did we trade? We did trade NQ, I believe, right? Yeah, perfect. And as you can tell, we'll cover it over here. I did sell on that day, so I was mainly just looking for. I just been mainly looking for shorts in August, especially looking at the higher time frame as well too. So let's see, where did we sell this? 7:30. I don't even know if it's gonna be on this chart. Uh, 9:33. Huh. I don't think it's gonna show up on here. Let's see, what time did I sell this? Sell time 08/21/2025, 6:33. That was my loss, and 6:42. That was my winner. So let's see here. Let's go back over here. I don't think it's gonna come back on here. No, it's definitely not. The execution is not showing on Trade08 for some reason. I know there's a way to change that. I'm not too inclined with Trade08 as much. Let's see, I don't even know how to change those settings. Where can I don't know where to go to show settings. Regardless, it is what it is. We'll just go ahead and hop over to Trading View and just review it there. That's fine. So what I'll do is I just want to get these times down. So 6:33, which is actually 9:33. Sorry, Eastern time. So we have 9:33, that's when I lost, and then I have 9:42, that's when I bought back. Sorry, when I sold back again. Alright, just making a little note here of the time, so we have to keep referencing this. But anyways, let's just try to break this down. I couldn't find the trade live, so on my Trade08 account, which, you know, it is what it is. But my total gross P&L for the day after taking the loss was $352, and the number of trades that I took total was let's see here. Oh, it's okay. It's because of this little error that I had. So the number of losing trades was 2, and the number of winning trades was 1. For a total of 3 trades. Let's see here. Average trade time was about 1 minute and 24 seconds, and my longest trade was about 3 minutes. I think that's my winner. Yeah, my winner was 3 minutes, and my loss was about 1 minute. So, which is, you know, very typical for me when I do place my trades. I know within like 1 to like 10 minutes, I know if it's going to be a winner or a loser. So if you can see here, oh, I see this is just for this week, but if you were to see like my overall stats here, we can just do it real quick. So like we'll do this quarter. So as you can see, my average losing trade time is about 3 minutes and 23 seconds, and my longest one was about 7 minutes. So anywhere from like I guess you could say like 3 to 7 minutes. You know what I mean? I can anticipate whether I'm gonna be on the losing side or on the winning side, and that makes it very easier for me to be able to be in and out and not be too emotionally attached to these trades when I do take them, because not every time I'm going to take these trades am I going to be winning. You know, as you can see, so far I'm 74% with a 22% losing trade percentage. So not every trade that I get into is going to be a winner, and some of those times when I do take those losing trades, I just either I'm too excited or I'm in a rush, I feel panicked, or just have the impulse to just do something. You know what I mean? So that those are just those little user errors that are accounted in that 22% right there. So which is very surprising to me to be at 74%, because in the beginning of like May I was like in the low 20s, and now sitting in August, almost in September, that's about 4 months now. In 4 months I've increased my strike rate from 20 to 70, let's just say low 70%. It's about 50% jump, and majority of that came from knowing my setup, knowing what I want to trade, and just respecting the days that offer just very terrible price action. And the reason why I can tell that this can be very choppy or very gyrated back and forth, seek and destroy profile type of days is just with the type of news delivery that's released that day. So for example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all just crappy days, and then Thursday and Friday is where we saw a little bit of better days, even though Friday price presented a TGIF reversal cleanly, and I will review that as well too. So let's see here. Let's go back over to Trade 08. Let's just finish this little recap up, this little performance, performance report. You know what I mean, on just that day specifically on Thursday. So yeah, I was about 8 minutes total trade time. Sorry, this is for that quarter. Let's just go back to that day now. There we go. So average trade time was about 1 minute, and my largest winning trade, the second trade that I took, was about $600, and I did make up for that loss, which was about 250 bucks. So I made about a little bit less than 1% back. So across 3 accounts is about $1,000. Still not terrible day, especially after losing. So as you can see here, it's $18 as a loss, $225 again as a loss, and then we have the win, which was $595. Okay, now what I want to do is let's go to trading view here, and I want to look at Thursday's price delivery, just sort of go over it, review it. I definitely want to talk about the things that I could have done better, as there's something that we're all working on as traders as well too. It doesn't matter what part of the journey you're on, you're always going to have something to work on, and the biggest things for me is just my exits, being able to hold the trades on for longer. I am working on this first payout, so it's going to be a nice decent one, and I'm just hoping that with a decent payout, and I'll have some money to pay the bills and stuff like that, and still have money saved and left over. I'm gonna most likely be getting some more accounts and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping with that money that I get as income, I'll be able to sort of just take the emphasis off my trades needing to be winners, and being just comfortable enough to let the trades go for a little bit of longer of a time, like You know, my average trade time y'all saw was like about 7 minutes, which is the longest, and 3 minutes, which is the shortest. So if I just let the trades go for about 15 minutes, you know what I mean, and then just take profit, and maybe I can be aiming for like a 3-to-1 risk to reward, you know. So these are the things that I really want to work on and improve as a trader over time. I know I can get there, you know what I mean, especially with the organization and being consistent with it, you know, is definitely possible. Okay, so let's go over to Thursday. What were we looking at here? So remember, my first trade was at 9:33, 3 minutes after the equities open. And then my second trade was at 9:42. So let's go ahead and delineate 7 o'clock, which sort of starts off the opening session. Sorry, the pre-session before the 9:30 equities open. So we'll just go ahead and put this opening range gap table higher so we can get that out of the way. So okay, perfect. So now I want to go ahead and pull up my notes as well too, and we'll see what we're looking at here more in detail. Okay, so in the higher time frame, the screenshot was taken at 7:38. So okay, so this is a post market screenshot. So this is after price already delivered. So that means that this candle right here is Friday's candle, and this right here is Thursday's candle. So what basically happened is price just sunk down lower and wicked into that 2305.25, and sort of even looks like if it's an equal low, to be honest with you. So we're going to use that basis to go ahead and look and see how I took a sell that sort of matched this higher time frame daily candle, and how it, you know, wicked lower into that daily sell side liquidity. And this sort of goes in line with me, you know, holding on to the setups for a little bit longer and being able to capitalize on moves like this, you know. Because if we go back over here, let's see, when this trade right here, it was entered in at 23,529. 23,529. Okay, just remember that. And let's go back over here. No, it wasn't here. Let's go back over here. 23,529, right? So that means that price was like way the hell up over here, and I could have like literally just rode that down for at least 400 handles, because price went all the way down to 23.45, and my entry was at 529. So that's almost about 500 plus handles that I could have taken advantage of. But with me being a little bit, you know, inexperienced still, you know, getting my feet wet and finding consistency, especially in the early, it's been about like 4 or 5 months that I've been, you know, consistent. I'm still learning to let my trades go for a little bit longer, and right now it's just really hard for me to hold these trades past like 10-15 minutes, because I see $400 or $500, $600, $700 of profit in a single account. You know, times that by 3 accounts, it's like, dude, like, you know, even like $100 per account, you know, $300 per day is more than enough, you know. And I'm over here making, you know, thousands. I'm over here making 1,500, you know, each time that I trade, or 1,000, 1,200, whatever it is that I trade, you know. And I'm having about, you know, almost $9,500 right now over like the past month that I've been trading. That's very good. It's very good for me at least, and it's this correct stepping stone. It's the correct progress for an individual to be making that is trying to be consistent and profitable. So I'm pretty proud of that. And let's see here. So yeah, regardless of this huge move going down lower to this daily sell side liquidity, I was still able to capitalize. I just aimed for lower hanging fruit objective, and personally I was just content. You know what I mean? I like the fact that I can just get in and get out, but I know I'm leaving a lot of money on the table right there. So anyways, let's go back to the notebook over here. Another thing I forgot to mention actually was this new day opening gap chart. Just look at the respect to this clustering of discount new day opening gaps from 23.92 all the way to about 23.59. Look at that. Look how price just respects that. And if you look at from right here to this lower the lowest end dog right here, new day opening gap, price literally wicks in the center of that CE level and then just trades higher from there. So it's a very good confluence right there. It's just like when you have a clustering of these gaps on your chart, price typically wants to gravitate to there, especially if you have a very higher time frame directional bias that's confluenced with these levels. So it's very interesting, very dope to see as well too, especially through live delivery. So let's see here. We're gonna just skip over ES. We're gonna try to keep it short. We're only gonna review what I traded, which is NQ. Okay. So here's a trade right here, basically. Clean this up a little bit. Go ahead and close that. Open this. Okay. So my entry criteria was basically met. I had all of my components checked off, so I was in line with that. None of my contingencies were in play, which is a very good thing, and that makes me just a little bit less, I guess you could say, stressed, and just not have anxiety to my trades when I do trade live, and that makes it very much more easier when I already have all these things sort of just planned ahead, and if it does occur, then I just simply don't trade. You know what I mean? So where I can trade with the less risk, however it goes. And then just always use a 0.50% risk per trade, one and done regardless. That's the single rule that I broke on this trade plan right here on Thursday, which was just taking the initial loss for what I just took in that initial loss, just completely being done for the day. Just that's one thing I messed up on, because the setup could have just not gone my way, and I could have been 100% wrong, and I would have activated what is it called, revenge trading, and it's the psychology, whatever that makes up the revenge trading, and I could have just just unhinged myself after that second loss and just took another loss and another loss, and I could have been down for the whole max daily loss, which is like about $1,000 or something like that, and currently trading on these funded accounts, $1,000, that's a huge hit. That's almost about a little bit over half my capital that I've grown that account to. So I'm glad that it went my way, but I'm not happy about breaking the one and done rule, which is something that just preserves capital, and it keeps you in the game for a longer period of time for you to take advantage of more setups that are most likely going to be better setups, yeah, it is what it is. Not really happy about it, but I'm glad that it worked out for me. So And then trade management, of course, stop loss was in a balanced price range. It was about like, I think it was about like 20 handles, maybe 25 handles around there, maybe even less than that. And then, of course, I was just, a low-hanging fruit objective. I wish I could have traded all the way down to the new day opening gap levels, but of course, you know what I mean. I'm still, fresh to being consistent and profitable. And over time, I know I'm going to be able to hold my positions for longer, which is something that I am, wanting to work on. So going back into the psychology for that day, let's just go ahead and review this real fast. I was calm and relaxed initially until I took the loss, which I sort of knew would be a loss, so I felt my heart rate accelerating, and I engaged in my breath work to calm myself down so I would still continue to be in the driver's seat in my mind and continue to execute the trade plan. Fear, stress, and anxiety was trying to get through, but I was able to manage myself through discipline and not let the actual ruler be dethroned. So I think that's really good. I think that, even though I did take a loss, I didn't completely let myself get unhinged, and I didn't I didn't show signs of an inexperienced trader that can't take a loss. I took a loss, and I was still very focused on price action. I was trying to see what it was going to do, and I was able to capitalize on that. And that was only from just me being able to be focused, be disciplined, and still continue to think straight so I can execute my trade plan. So the mistakes I made on the first trade that was a loss. I took a short without a premium level being made jagged. So the narrative was not at play, and that is why price rated the buy side liquidity above my entry. So that mistake was easily identified, and if I'm being honest, I was just excited to be in after a week of not trading. Okay, so that makes sense. So I closed my second trade just a little bit too fast, and I should have let price trade lower to tag the PM sell side liquidity. That's a little typo right there, and I do apologize for the sentencing fragments and all that stuff. I do try to sometimes record these notes live, sometimes right after my trading session, and I do still have some sort of anxiety, some sort of adrenaline still running through my body, and I do make whatever typos and stuff like that. But for the most part, these trading journals are just something for me to go back and review my performance and see if there's anything that I can sharpen up or tune up, as that's the only real way of measuring your performance, you know what I mean. And or you could just record yourself as well too. I think that's pretty helpful as well too. But regardless, let's go to the next one here. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and there we go. So I broke the one and done rule as I was a little impatient, but I had full conviction that price set the narrative and then gave me the framework for a sell. Then let's go to what I did great. So great work on realizing where the mistake was on the first trade, and then keeping yourself calm and re-entering once the narrative and sell framework was set. Great work on controlling your breath work to calm down and continue to watch price delivery and seeing if my setup will form. Great work on having the courage to take another trade once you got stopped out. Great work on being careful with your risk management and to not let that loss affect you negatively. Great work on targeting the low-hanging fruit objective and making back the loss and some profit as well. Great job on staying calm, and even though my heart was coming out of my chest, I was able to trade effectively by efficiently implementing my trade plan. Let's go to the reminders. Losses will come. That's part of the business, but just don't let them be a cause for your negative thoughts and emotions. You already know how to trade. Now all you have to do is rinse and repeat. I am super proud of myself. And the overall recap, 10 out of 10 on execution, 8 out of 10 on the trading plan, and then 10 out of 10 on the management. One note I do want to mention is that even though I did take a loss, and my performance in terms of how I effectively implemented my trade plan, probably just because of the one and done rule that I broke, I probably didn't do the best, but I'm not being negative towards myself. You know what I mean? Look at the last thing that I wrote under reminders. I am super proud of myself. I'm giving myself encouragement. I'm giving myself a pat on my back. I'm not beating myself up. I'm not being negative. I'm not over here, oh, you know, you're dumb, you don't know how to trade, you know, this is never going to work out, this is just, you know, a pipe dream, this is just, you know, whatever the hell, you know, XYZ, just put that in, you know, for whatever thing that you're thinking negative, you know. That's very important. This industry is very difficult, and negativity is found everywhere. You know what I mean? It's very easy to be negative in anything in life, to be honest with you, not just trading, but let's just stick to trading in this case. And you need to encourage yourself to keep continuing, keep doing it, keep, you know, whatever that goal is, just, you know, keep going one oil barrel at a time, one step at a time until you achieve that. It is 100% possible, you know, if you're organized and you're committed and you're consistent. And that's one thing that I did when I started journaling. Just from the jump, I was just always positive, always positive, always positive. And a quick reflection, you know, just from doing that in my journals now, like, in, you know, just me being personal, you know, with, you know, the people around me, friends, family, you know, or just, you know, me interacting with a random person, you know, I'm very positive, I'm very peaceful, you know. I don't want, you know, anything negative to come out of my mouth, or even just have a negative thought even come in my mind. I'm like, it's very rare for that even to occur. Like, something happens, I'm always, like, you know, very positive towards it. And especially when, you know, something negative happens, I need the solution, like, you know, very fast. I've realized that, you know, being negative just takes you off the course, and it just prolongs things, it makes things worse. So being encouraging to yourself and being positive is super important, you know what I mean? And it gets you to actually want to do the work as well too, because sometimes there will be days where you don't want to do the work and you're just like, okay, this is just, you know, you just give into the negativity, right? So it's really cool to go back to this. And just reading that right there, like, I am super proud of myself. Just, you know, gives me encouragement, you know what I mean, to continue. And you know, on top of that, you know, like, who's gonna tell you that, to be honest with you? Not unless, you know, you got those really good supportive you know, people in your life. That's really good, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't have that, you know what I mean? And the best thing you can do is be encouragement for yourself and support yourself in a positive and a healthy manner. So now let's go back to the charts. Okay, enough talking. We're gonna still talk, but enough psychology talk, I guess you could say. And let's go to the charts now. Okay, so let's bring up this image right here. So what we're looking at basically is how price traded up into this. Okay, I see where I took the loss right here. Price traded up into this AM buy side liquidity, rated that, traded up into this lower quadrant of this 15-minute inversion fair value gap, and then just made a displacement lower. So this is, like, you know, a pretty textbook setup. It's just the fact that at the opening at 9:30, I just got tripped up with the move lower, and price did not take the AM buy side liquidity. Instead, it made an equal high right there. So I did not realize that, or I probably did realize that, and once again, I probably just did get too excited after seeing that fair value gap right there, and I literally entered on that, and the next candle within a minute took me out. So perfectly fine. I was, you know, not worried about that whatsoever at all. Instead, I just decided to be patient. I just wanted to see what price would do, and I knew that there was a 10 a.m. news release. So actually there was one at 9:45, and then there was one at 10 o'clock. So my plan, when I took this initial loss right here, off this fair value gap right here, when I took that initial loss right here, I would just, I was just trying to be patient, and I was just really waiting for the displacement lower, which you can see occurs after price tries to retest the 15-minute inversion fair value gap and turn it into a busy. But again, you know, with it not trying to even touch the CE level of this, that just tells you the price is bearish after the AM buy side liquidity was rated. And on top of that, we also have this opening range gap CE level that's being respected as well too. So there's three confluences right there that tell you the price is going to go lower and be bearish. And on top of that, we have a 9:45 and a 10 a.m. news driver just outside the macro. We have a displacement, and my entry once again was at 942. It was in this SIBI right here. My stop loss, I want to say it was about what? So if my entry was 23, let's see, what was my entry? My entry was 23,529. That's right. So let's go over here. Let's go right here, short position, 942 right here, 941, 942, 23,520. What was it? I'm gonna do it exactly what it was. 550 was that? Yep, perfect. 23,259. 23,259.50. Perfect. And then my stop loss, as y'all can see from this screenshot, that was taken at about 10 o'clock, was just above this candle right here. So let's go back over here. We'll see exactly how much my stop loss was. So about right here. So that's gonna be about, yeah, perfect. About 20 handle, less than 20 handle stop loss. And I'm buying this back at, let's go to Tradeovate, and when did I get this? 23,200 even. So I set the profit levels to 23,200 even. There you go. Very easy low-hanging fruit objective right here, which was the sell side liquidity from 930, and a very easy 3-to-1 risk reward, less than 20 handle stop loss with a 60 handle target. So very beautiful setup, you know what I mean? It just sucks, very unfortunate that I took the trade right here. So let me actually go ahead and show you guys my loss as well too. We'll keep it even, you know what I mean? We'll go in and cover the win, and we'll cover the loss actually. So again, remember, what time was my loss? It was at 9:33, right? Let's go back to Tradeovate. What time did I sell it? Again, this is Pacific Standard Time, but we always operate on Eastern Time, so just put 3 hours ahead. So this is 9:33. We sold at 244, 23,244. Okay, we're not gonna be worried about this. This is a user error. I'm not really worried about that loss. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm just glad that I got out right away and I took a very minimum hit. But we will worry about this one right here. 633, 23,244.75. Okay. So let's go to 633 right here, 23 2. Hold up, I honestly forgot it. 23 244.75. 23. This is supposed to be a sell. I don't know why it's doing a buy. There we go. 23. Oh, I just had it. 23 244.75. So 23 244.75. perfect. And I wonder if my screenshot shows my loss. It does not. Okay, so my stop loss on this one, I believe, was just about right here, which is about 21 handles, whatever it is. And my target, I'm pretty sure I was looking for these lows right here, and this got stopped out right there. Make this a little bit darker. Still can't really see it. We'll just go ahead and can we scoot this out? There we go. Cool. Okay, so basically I stopped out with that same candle that we entered on, so which is, you know, again, that's the thing that we want to see. And yeah, all right, so took the loss right here. I waited. I still wanted to have that bearish perspective in mind, you know, and I waited, and price rated. Let's see. Let's go back to this little screenshot right here. Price came up once again, back into the 15-minute inversion fair value gap, and that's sort of what gave me another layer of confidence, or that layer of confluence gave me a little bit more confidence. I think I said that layer of confluence gave you more confidence. There we go. My bad. It's a little late right now, guys, so bear with me. Almost done here. But with price not trying to reach up into the upper quadrant, into that inversion fair value gap, plus creating that displacement outside the macro, I was 100% convinced, and that is the reason why I ended up taking this sell right here. Good, you know, setup for me. Just made back my loss, and I made a little bit more profit. So I'm very pleased with that. My current standings right now, like performance wise, like numbers wise, is, you know, how I'm doing as a trader. So let's just go ahead and review only the funded accounts, okay? And I've been trading these accounts since about, I think, mid-July, right? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So far, I am up about $9,500, $9,400. I have a 73% strike rate. Profit factor is a 3.82. My day win percent is about 76%, and my average win loss is about 1.39. So I'm not really pleased with my win loss, to be honest with you. My trade, I would prefer it more to be, you know, like a 2-to-1, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, as long as I'm profitable, I guess, you know. I am getting a little bit more nervous. I do realize that my trades, as soon as I get into profit, like around $400 or $500, I just want to close the trades, you know. And that's what becomes a problem sometimes when I'm trying to hold these trades for a longer objective. I just think, like, you know what, I already got, you know, 2-to-1 secure, whatever it is, and let's just trade, you know, another day, because these setups they form consistently. I want to say every day, but I don't want to say every day, because they're not the same quality of setups. You know, you want to focus on just high quality setups, in and out type of trades. That's what I try to focus on. It's very easy to manage, at least for me. And yeah, like, who doesn't like making money in minutes? You know what I mean? Sometimes seconds. So let's see here, and I've been literally selling short all of August. I don't think I've had a single long trade in the month of August. So as y'all can see, we're just gonna run through this real fast. Shorts, August 5th, all shorts. August 7th, all shorts. August 12th, all shorts. The 14th, shorts. 15th, that was short as well too. And then obviously the Thursday, 21st of August, I was shorting that. So yeah, I've literally been all short all of August. And if we can look on the higher time frame for NASDAQ now, if we just go to August, like, as y'all can see, like, we've been just we've been pushing up higher, but just recently, in the second week of August, we started to tank just a little bit after making all-time highs again. And just judging the current state of the market right now, it's just like, you know, I don't know. I hear from, you know, traders frequently, that August is a pretty difficult month to trade. And so far, you're looking at, this right here, it doesn't seem like it's difficult, but the types of deliveries that have been in AM session, they've been pretty lackluster. They've been pretty, consolidated, just back and forth, back and forth. I'm not gonna lie to you, there has been some days that have been pretty lucrative, and I've been able to capitalize on those days. And but yeah, I don't think like August is that hard of a month to trade. Maybe I have been getting lucky, whatever it is, but I mean, being consistent, being able to trade like this, that doesn't. I don't think I'm getting lucky whatsoever at all. I just think that I'm being conservative for sure. I get my entry, and I know exactly when to get out, and I know exactly where my stop loss is gonna be, and whichever one hits first on the trade, I'm fully content with that, and I'm keeping my risk very small, if not smaller, actually. Some of these setups, they don't offer the best stop loss placement, so like risking anything over like 30 handles on a stop loss placement, I just don't want to do that, and I'm better off either just lowering the risk or just not taking that trade. But anyways, going back into now the higher time frame on the NASDAQ over here. I'm just looking to see where the current direction of delivery will be going for the last bit of August. So on Friday, we get this huge up candle, which is not a problem. I sort of expected to see this, especially since we've been like sort of just selling off since the all-time highs were made at Wednesday on the 13th of August. And we've just been, nice little sell-off to tag this little liquidity right here. So this up move is expected. But what's more important is, what this up candle did on Friday. It took out this PDH, took out this PDH. And also, what happened is price wicked into this daily SIBI, but it refused to cross this consequent encouragement. I hope I'm saying that right. The CE level, the midpoint of this daily SIBI, it failed to cross that, and basically that's still looking bearish to me, and I want price to go ahead and target these lows right here, and then hopefully go and trade off into these lows right here at 22,788.25. So if price does end up breaking a daily SIBI CE level, then potentially we could be seeing another all-time high being created, and price just has to take out those previous daily highs. But for the most part, I do believe that we are going to be still bearish, and I really like how price is trading into that daily SIBI. Just a little bit opposite on ES though, because ES did not respect his daily SIBI and ended up taking out almost, it did take out 5 days worth of previous day's highs, almost a week's worth, and way more energetic move higher than NQ, and that just really is sort of putting me in the impression that maybe the ES might create the all-time highs and NASDAQ might follow suit. But again, I do like to pay attention to this price delivery right here on NASDAQ, and I just really like the fact that it created a very nice TGIF retracement to the 30% at 23,628. So as you can see here, just worked right into that, which is just right above the CE level of the daily SIBI. So very interesting to see. Very interested to see where price will open tomorrow, and I am definitely going to be trading on Monday and Tuesday as well too. So hopefully we'll be looking to get a payout by the end of this next week coming up. So hopefully we can go ahead and just continue to sell off. You know what I mean? That's what I've been doing all of August so far, even with since Monday through the 13th, it's been going higher. I've still been going ahead and placing sells in that. So Um, Last thing I wanted to review real fast was just these Apex accounts, just to show the progress that's been going on with the three 50K accounts. I'm very, very, very close to getting a payout. I need about 3 more trading days. I've already passed the little buffer zone that they have at about $2,600. So I'm about $3,100. If everything goes well, I plan to, once again take out a payout at the end of this week. For how much? Again, I don't really want to count my chickens before they hatch, so I'm gonna just leave that up to the end. You know what I mean? I'll make a separate video on that. But I'm definitely very proud of my progress so far. It's taken me a very long time to get back to where I was able to find consistency from last year, and it's crazy that it literally took me 1 year. I would probably almost exactly, you know what I mean, around this time is when I was making the previous payouts as well too. But what's different now is just the fact that I just have way more control. I'm way more disciplined. I'm not really panicking if I do take a loss, and I'm definitely not blowing anywhere near what I was blowing per day on trading. You know what I mean? If I did take a loss compared to last year, if I take a loss this year, it's for 0.50% risk per trade of a 50K account, which is about $250. And if I take that loss for the day, I'm done. Thursday, which is one of those days where I just I just didn't trade for a week. I really wanted to trade, and I definitely got into revenge trading, but it just panned out for me. I was just very diligent with what I wanted to see, and I only wanted to trade that, and that's exactly what I traded. So I'm proud of my discipline, for being disciplined, and for being correct on the higher time frame bias as well too, with the draw being at discount. So yeah, we'll see what the next week brings us. I am looking forward to next week because I have about 4 trading days. But if I do get the three trading days, like back-to-back wins, and I do get a payout, then I'm just gonna be done for August, and I'm just gonna lay off the throttle for a little bit on trading, and just save my equity and stuff like that, my capital, for the next month. And once I do make that next payout as well too, I will definitely be reinvesting some money to get more accounts. And I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know it's gonna be a little bit of a longer video. If you guys made it through the end, once again, I appreciate you guys' patience, appreciate you guys' time. Each video is only gonna get us better. I really do enjoy doing this type of videos, just because it keeps me engaged outside of just trading the market live. My day is over by like 8 a.m. Pacific time, so by like 11 o'clock New York time, like 11:30, I'm basically done. And like I trade literally for, I want to say like 4 hours max. I don't even think so. And it's a blessing, the intuition that I've been able to gather over the years, and just through commitment, through not giving up, through just not appreciating the minor setbacks as it's a time to quit. I never did that. You know what I mean? I just always kept on going. I always kept on adjusting. Even when I lost the funded accounts, I lost the consistency, I lost the profitability. I just didn't lose faith in myself. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys, and until next time, we'll talk then.